Hello, my name is Mandy, and my project is making icing for these lovely cakes and cupcakes. First, you must always wash your hands and put up your hair so nothing else gets in the food that's not supposed to be there. The next step is we need 2 cups of brown sugar. We need to make sure we pack it down hard so that it is adequate.
Now, why would you use that measuring cup versus the other kind that has the spout?
We would use this one because this is the dry measuring cup and we don't want to get them mixed.
One more scoop.
We're going to do 2 cups.
And what's the spatula for?
It's so that it's flat and we don't go over the measuring cup. Next, since we're making 2 batches, we have 2 sticks of butter. We're going to put this in with our brown sugar in your pot.
And then onto the stove it goes. Oh no, actually you have to measure the milk first.
This is going to go right here. Now we need to measure our milk, and it is a 1/2 cup.
In what kind of measuring cup?
In a wet measuring cup. We're going to put this right over here, so when it's ready, it's right there, so we can pour it in our contents. The next step is we are going to take our contents and bring it to a boil. Melt the butter.
And do you want to just stir it a little bit, or?
We're going to stir it constantly.
Okay, we'll check back in on that in a second, because that's going to take a little while to melt.
The butter here is starting to soften, and it's starting to blend with the brown sugar. That's kind of what we want to start happening. And here, it's starting to become a liquid. See, our icing is starting to boil very hard, and once this time is up, we'll add it. It's nice and hot and it smells great. And there's our timer. We're going to turn this down. We're going to slowly add this milk. We're going to let it cool.
Okay, now you want to actually bring it up to the boil again.
So we're going to bring it up to a boil again, so it cooks real well. Now it's liquidy. Smells great.
Looks like it's boiling again. Okay, so at this point you turn it off.
keep stirring it.
And then you're going to set aside and let it do what?
We're going to let it cool.
Until it's cold or like room temperature?
Until it's like room temperature. And then we're going to do our next step with it. While we're waiting for our mix to cool, we are going to sift this powdered sugar so it is nice and fine for our next step. This frosting that I'm making isn't just any frosting. It is my special caramel frosting. My great-great-grandmother made it, and she taught my grandmother how to make it. And my grandmother taught my mom how to make it, and then my mom decided to teach me how to make it. It is a very special, delicious recipe, and I'm going to show you some of the tools that we are going to be using next. This is called a rubber spatula. It is to get the food off of the sides that is not supposed to be there, that you're putting in another dish. And then this is my mini metal spatula. It is used for a lot of things. One of the things I'm going to be using it for is icing the cupcakes. And then this is my electric mixer. It mixes the things better than I can. And so it makes it all like one.
So let's check and see if our frosting is finally cool.
Yes, look, it's ready. I'm going to pour this in here. So that I can put the powdered sugar in till it's ready. There we go. That's perfect. Put lots of powdered sugar in here. It's to make it thick so that it's like an icing. We're going to just keep putting this in until it looks ready.
So do we have an exact amount?
No, we don't. And I just use my rubber spatula to get every last drop. I'm going to mix this. It's getting caramely.
Are you going to want to scrape those sides down a bit?
Yes, I am. Let's see, is this the right texture? No, it's too watery. Oh, in my parchment paper, it's here so that I can put all my tools back on here without getting all the counter all messy. So, to get it more thick, I'm going to add some more powdered sugar. So I never know when it's enough. I'll always have to keep adding it. Let's see if this is enough. Oh, it looks good. Now this is my favorite part of the whole thing. Here, get to lick these beaters.
Yum.
That's good. There are many ways to ice a cupcake. One of the old-fashioned ways is to take a swipe like this and then just put it over the cupcake, like so. Another way is to use a piping bag and make fancy little swirls like I've been practicing here. And you could see I put the permanent pen on the other side of the wax paper so it won't poison your food. And you can do this as much as you want because all you have to do is just dump it back in the bowl.
Why don't you give us an example of what you can do with that piping bag?
So what you can do is you can go swirling around. And you go
Nice.
like that.
So are you going to show us on a real cupcake? Beautiful.
So for those of you who don't have a piping bag, you can just put the icing in a plastic bag and cut a little corner out like this, and it's just as good as a piping bag. So here's the finished product. The ones on your left, I used the piping bag, and it has a different style than the ones on your right. I used just a plain plastic bag. I wanted to show you the differences that they actually make. So these just make great cupcakes as well as these. So you can try both at your house in your time, and you will get great tasting cupcakes, and you are about to enjoy. Thanks, for helping me and teaching me this recipe.
You're welcome. I'm so glad I have a little girl to share this tradition of this chocolate cake with caramel icing that we've had in our family since I was a little girl. Enjoy have a good day. Bye.